are the coolest dudes on the planet?
United States veterans.
What's the coolest sport on the planet?
Pro wrestling.
And what would be the coolest podcast on the planet? That would be this one.
U.S. military vets talking pro wrestling.
This is the No Shave Man Cave. Two badass disabled vets sharing their love of pro wrestling, giving you their perspective as fans, talking about current events and matches, history of titles, and who knows what else. Let's do it.
Welcome to the No Shave Men Cave. Now your hosts, Ellie Jair and Jay Tilley.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, wrestling fans, and sports entertainment fans, welcome to the No Shave Man Cave. I'm Ellie Jair.
Hey, yo, I'm Jay Tilley.
Man, so WWE and Endeavor, the merge is just about done. And it's like the polar opposite of the brand split with WWE, Raw, and Smack. Wait, no, the exact opposite. Man, this is going to be nuts. We're coming into an awesome time, and we're going to run down a little bit of WWE and wherever this conversation takes us. Jay Tilley, what's up, man?
So let's start with the merger and the talks. Like, do you really think it's going to make that much of a difference in WWE and the way they do things?
I think it will have to, only because there's a little bit of responsibility with one another. So I think, like, if you have two people doing, like, I'm the assistant to the assistant. Oh, wait, me too. Well, rock, paper, scissors, one of the assistants to the assistants is going to go. So I think there'll be a flattening of the Endeavor and WWE staffs. But as far as, like, the on TV product, I don't necessarily think so, unless one of the rumors that I heard comes to fruition where Hunter feels a certain kind of way about Vinnie Mac coming back, or Shane O'Mac coming in. So he just looks at it like a slap in the face, because he was like, well, I have other endeavors that I can partake in. I was like, oh, that's an interesting use of words, but because he future endeavors people. But yeah, so it's crazy times for the WWE, AEW, Impact. They're recording today, I think. Their 1000th episode. Man, so cool. So
That is pretty cool.
yeah.
Someday we'll be there.
Yes, sir.
Do you think the rumors about not getting a deal with Fox has anything to do with the UFC stuff too? Because I thought the UFC and Fox were pretty tight. So it's interesting that rumor is starting to swirl around that they might not be WWE's home anymore. So I was just curious.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they did like a Fox series.
Yeah, they used to have the UFC that show.
Yeah.
What was it? Fight Night. It was like Fox's Fight Nights or something like that.
So I don't know if, and I know that ESPN and UFC are in cahoots. So I don't know if that's what's kind of setting them back. But I really think it's super interesting for the fact that they may be leaving Fox. It's like, where are you going to go?
Right.
You don't necessarily want to have all your eggs in one basket with USA again. And then, like you were saying earlier, well, that's a cable channel, and, a certain number of houses are going to lose it. NBC and Paramount are, same thing. You can't necessarily go to ESPN because of the other related. So it's like, okay,
they could go to, was it ABC? Isn't that where Peacock is? Isn't
That's
Peacock
true.
ABC? Yeah, maybe that's part of the thing is they'll just go right to maybe ABC's where they end up,
Yeah.
which may be part of the deal that's going on with Fox is like, well, you're streaming on our competitor.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I just thought of that. I'm like, oh, Peacock would make sense.
Yeah.
So I think that's ABC, right? Or is that NBC?
No,
ABC's like little eye thing. I think NBC is Peacock. Paramount is TBS and Time Warner, I think. Oh man, I don't know. Whatever the Peacock is, I could see them going there.
trying to see here, but no. So what else are you thinking is all the other rumblings and networks? And I just want to be able to get to my wrestling.
Right. I don't care where they go.
Yeah, I love that Peacock is like $9 a month. It sucks that AEW you have to go on Fight or Bleacher Report or whatever and drop
For now.
$50-$60. Yeah, maybe it changes whatever the business model that that they're going to go with. So but yeah, man, I'm super super excited for where wrestling is, and
Yep.
it's just so much. Yeah, it's awesome.
I know we're doing WWE talk today, but you just brought
Yeah.
up with all the talks about the TV deal that AEW is about to get. I'm
Mhm.
sure part of that's got to be a streaming service somewhere, whether they're going to put it on Max or whatever the one Time Warner owns. Is it? Yeah, it's Max because it's Discovery Max and all that. So I could
Yes.
see that being part of their deal. Is like, all right, we're going to be on Max next. So and that'd be a good place for them. It's not a bad
Yeah.
HBO deal like HBO and all those other ones.
Heck
Wouldn't
yeah.
be bad. All right,
Yeah,
back
that'd be
into the
that'd
WWE
be
life.
yeah. Yeah, so the
Get a little
WWE
pay-per-view.
Yeah. So the WWE, they love doing their premium live events every month, and sometimes they're twice a month. And we just recently had SummerSlam, which I thought was awesome. Numbers came back. Everything was on the next level with money and buy rates and all this other stuff. Well, I think Payback was phenomenal. And after talking to you and listening to how All Out went,
Whew.
I mean, all like above average Friday Night SmackDown, a really decent Rampage. I didn't think it was terrible.
No, it
And then
wasn't.
you had a really good pay per view and Collision and All Out. And I thought Monday Night Raw, I thought it was like,
I
that's
enjoyed
a
Raw.
lot of really good wrestling.
Yeah, and I mean, you can even go back further to All In last weekend,
Oh my God.
which was amazing. So yeah, a lot of wrestling in the past
Yeah.
week too, where even me as a wrestling fanatic was like, oh, okay. Like I'm not gonna lie, and you can go back and listen to the Saturday show on Fantasy Sports Car. I was very up in the air on ordering All Out because I was just like, I'm kind of, believe it or not, a little wrestled out, but I got it, and it was fantastic. But we'll talk
Yeah.
about that on Thursday.
Yeah.
Let's talk
Definitely.
Payback and Raw on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Props to all the companies and what they're doing. And shout out to the WWE and the whole entire creative, all the producers, everything that they've been doing with the In the Ring. Renee Paquette really made this role, and now they're cycling different
Yep.
people through over at WWE.
I thought you were going to
And
bounce back to AEW for a second. And I was like,
no. So they're rolling through different people to do
Yeah,
these
to take that-
interviews.
Yeah.
Yeah, such a cool part of the show, and interacting with the superstars throughout the show and getting on the spot interviews. I think that's super cool. So Payback came out, and they were in Pennsylvania, and it was a really good crowd. The card was really good, and the match that started it was by far no way what I thought was going to be the primer for a pay-per-view. And my God, talk about setting the bar super high. So kudos to Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus, the Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
My word, what a freaking match. And it was in the confines of a steel cage, and it had everything.
Yeah, completely blew my expectations out of the water. I was a little concerned just because of the way Trish has looked in a couple of the matches. I was like, oh man, she's a little rusty. Man, they beat the hell out of each other. Really good match. Again, right with you. What a primer. What a way to start it off. And man, did you see that welt on?
Oh man!
Oh man, that
yeah.
goose egg that was coming up
Yeah.
throughout that match. I don't even know where the hit was that caused it, but oof, I was like, that's gonna hurt in the morning.
Yeah, that definitely looked like it was going to leave a mark. And again, kudos to the Hall of Famer Trish and future Hall of Famer Becky. Just really laid it out. Becky gets the victory, and then we get a little bit of swerve-a-rooney. I'm not sure if they're done. It feels like they are. Zoe's kind of going out on her own thing, like what we saw on Monday Night Raw in her match with the Queen of Spades, Shayna Baszler. But yeah, awesome. Trish turns on Zoe. Zoe hits her with her knee drop and walks away. So we'll see. But Trish got a huge "Thank you, Trish" chant as they went back, and I'm sure she got nothing but love in Gorilla because they freaking killed it.
Yeah. I think Zoe Stark's going on her own way is probably fair because I imagine Trish is done with her little run. And I mean, word on the street is, matter of fact, Fightful just dropped a article on the fact that they're really high on Zoe Stark right now. So I
Yeah.
could see her doing a little solo run and going at it and having a good time. I think it'll be great. I
Yeah.
think she's really good. I think she's good in the ring. She's got to polish up her mic work a little bit, which is why having her with Trish seemed to work okay, but that'll come. Like
Oh yeah.
they'll if they have to, they'll pair her with somebody, but it'll come.
Yeah. I think she'll get into a good series and really build on the character work that she's already done, and to the moon with Zoe. So
To the moon.
to the moon. There was someone else that was getting ready to go to the moon. Oh, that's right. La Knight, LA Knight, yeah, versus The Miz. And man, this was a really good match. It was very fun. And man, it was good to see Cena. I thought it was odd that he came out and introduced himself as the host after the first match was already done. But
Yeah.
it was good and bad. I think it was good because the women got to get all that shine and didn't have to didn't have to share any with Cena. Maybe that's what the thought was. But this match, The Miz and LA Knight, a lot of really good stuff. And this match in the finish, I think, are going to play into a feud with Cena, LA Knight. Maybe Cody might somehow try and figure his way out because they're doing the brand stuff back and forth. But LA Knight, I think, is getting ready to go straight up because you've got,
Hope so.
I think Rey Mysterio is a transition champion until Santos turns on him.
Yeah.
And, everybody goes home happy with, Miz. Yeah.
So you think Santos changes on him, goes heel, and then LA Knight takes it as the face down the road? Do you think they'll wait that long to pull the trigger on that?
Or LA Knight wins the title because Santos got involved with Ray or tried to help Ray. I'm air quoting.
Really?
So,
really, I don't see them
think
splitting those up. That's interesting. I haven't gotten that in the tea leaves of watching, so I haven't picked up on little nougats of a split between the two of them.
Yeah. And it hasn't been anything super obvious. It was like one little quick glance, but it wasn't like a staring like Adam Cole at or holding the title. When he picked him up, I thought we were going to see this whole evolution where
drops him right back down.
Yeah.
Thumbs down.
I was like, oh man. So, but no, it was, I enjoyed the LA Knight match. Not just because LA Knight won, but just the back and forth and the friction with John Cena being the special guest referee. So super fun. There's got to be a couple gimmick matches on a card. That's sort of what WWE is known for,
right?
And I feel like that was pretty close to the most gimmicky thing that we were going to see. Not a ton of blood outside of when we got to the tag team match, and they basically took the camera off of Owens, put some quick clot on him, and sent him back into the match. But yeah, congrats.
I was wondering if that was the hard way or not. I saw that in the Owens match, and when he came up, I'm like, I wonder if that was the hard way. But at the same time, it looked a little perfect to not be the hard way. So I was like, I'm curious if that was, hey, we're going to start getting people used to seeing blood again, because they had just seen, All In and the bloody matches and what All Out was about to do with the strap match. And God, I think every match on All Out bled. So, I wonder if it was kind of a, let's start getting the crowd used to this again. It was curious because they showed it a few times that he was wearing the crimson mask.
Yeah, it was pretty blatant, and you would have thought that they would have turned the camera and focused on them making their way as if it's the same point of view as the wrestler or superstars going to the ring. Yeah, it was. Now that you're making a point of that, I'm like, wow, maybe that is sort of like the prelude to the new WWE PG-13, whatever they're going to call it. So I'm here for it, though. Little.
The rumors was the third hour of Raw they were going to make more extreme and adult like. So maybe this is that first. See how people take this. Are they going to have a fit, or are they going to be like, oh, I like that. Yeah, give me the blood.
Yeah, I thought it was. Yeah, I thought for that match, I felt like it kind of went along with the story. There's, just this constant strife, and we're going to settle it one way or another. But yeah, we'll get to that one in a bit. But so we were talking earlier about Rey Mysterio. So he defended the title against the former 2-time champion, the wet noodle Austin Theory. And his character, I don't know what to do, but I don't and I don't want to go, okay, send him back down to NXT, because that is not anything bad, because Becky Lynch is getting ready to go down to NXT and have a little mini
So
feud.
Cena, I think.
Mini feud with the second best Swanton in
That's right.
Tiffany is so they're gonna have a feud. So yeah, I caught a little bit of what seemed like what you just said, Cena going down there. There's someone else who's gonna be making more frequent trips down there.
CM Punk might be showing up there.
You never know. Hey, Authors of Pain are in town, so we just got a re-signing of Paul Ellering and the Authors of Pain. So it's pretty.
It's interesting to hear you talk about Austin Theory, because I want to say WrestleMania time, you were all about Austin Theory.
I was like, hey,
I don't see it, man. I don't see it.
They're giving him the rub. He's hooking up with Cena, and now
Dude, wet noodles a great thing.
Oh man, it's like a rag or a washcloth that you see near the sink, and the kitchen sink is such a disgusting spot. But you look at the wash towel or wash rag, and you're like, is this thing clean? I don't know. And that's just what Theory was just kind of like, he does that little thing where he flips his fingers up, and I don't know, man.
I feel like he's, the meme with like the stick figure with the stick poking whatever's on the ground and saying, do something. Like, I feel like that's WWE with his personality. Like, do something, stick out somehow.
Be different. You had the old man put a rocket on your back. I thought they were going to cool him after he, what was he? Not Money in the Bank, but I thought they were going to cool him off. It looked like, he's going to fall, get buried on the roster by Triple H. And then they turned around, sort of repackaged him with the new beard and all that, and nothing. Same thing. So
beard doesn't help. His beard is weird.
Yeah, making us other bearded folks look bad. So we get Rey Mysterio. He retains. Sort of made sense. They're building something. He's a Hall of Famer. Let's try and make the title a little more important, like what they've done with the Intercontinental title. Man, what a great match! And we'll talk about that a little bit later. With Chad Gable, that was to the nines.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So far the crowd is really into it. I'm feeling it. It's a really, really fun card. Michael Cole and his mic work has really been has been fun. Whenever there's Wade Barrett or Corey Graves, when they go back and forth, I think it's really cool. I'm not against or for Nick Kelly, Kevin Patrick. Thank you. I'm not for or against. If he's there, it's fine. But if he's not, it's fine too.
I think he's still raw. Yeah. I think he's still learning. I think that's why they moved him and Corey to SmackDown, so he could work with Michael Cole.
Yeah, and I think it's really good. He does a couple other sports too. He commentates. I think he does soccer on Fox or something. So so he's trying to get his skills down. So I'm here for it, man. Keep on grinding. Speaking of grinding, what a scene watching Becky grind Trish's face. Man. Yeah. I was just like, all right, well, if that's what we're here for, that's what we're here for. So the next match, it's super crazy to think that a tag team title match main evented WrestleMania, and for it to be two best friends in real life and, on again and off again enemies on screen. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn have been doing stuff with the tag team titles, and it's more feuds for the character instead of feuds for the title. So it's like, okay, well, neither person or title are elevating one or the other. So it's like, all right, let's make it interesting because we're cooling off with the bloodline. So we got Finn Balor and Senior Money in the Bank versus the undisputed tag team champions. And this was a really good match. but a fantastic story. The story they told, just, oh man, it was next level. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, I agree. I thought the like you said, the match was hard hitting. They, this is where Kevin busted it open, and everything was really good. And then the story with Dom coming out, and then JD McDonough, and I'm thinking, all right, they've gotten through all this, and then they lost, and I was like, wait, they just took the championships away. Which I'm not tooting my own horn. I think I called that, but I thought it was great. I thought it was. I was like, oh my gosh, I got that one right. And like I said, it builds into that feud of the can they get along between Finn Balor and Priest too, because now they're champions. I mean, AEW did it first, but that's okay.
Hey.
just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just riling up our WWE fans. But yeah, it's good stuff. I enjoyed the match, and like you said, the story's good. Very curious what it's going to do with Owens and Sammy coming out of it, especially now that you've put Jey Uso back in the mix, because when we talk about Raw, which we'll do here shortly, because golly, we're already at 20-something minutes. Well, with what happens on Raw with hey, KO's not here, but I'm coming out to embrace you. Well, we all know the issues that KO had with Jimmy or Jay. I always get them confused. Whichever one's on, with Jay. So I'm just like, all right, where's this gonna go? And that leads me to what we hadn't got to yet, but I'm going to hit it now. What did you think about that with Cody Rhodes? Hey, he's going to be on the Grayson Waller effect with a big announcement. I'm thinking, all right, cool. And then that was the announcement. I was like, what? Oh, okay. I wanted to get your opinion as a big Cody fan. Were you expecting him to bring out one of his rival? I don't know. I just thought it was really weird.
So I thought at that point there was going to be a part where Cena and Rhodes were going to be on screen together, because Cena just gave the rub to LA Knight, but Cena also just gave love to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. So I thought they were going to be on screen together, and that would start something with Waller. I didn't think, it was not at all what I thought, and I think it was a deal that will now take him to Friday Night SmackDown, where he'll now be back inserted into a storyline with your tribal chief. So interesting turn. I don't know how they'll announce as part of the trade. They receive Jey Uso and future draft picks and considerations.
Because those matter so much.
And Friday Night SmackDown is here to claim their property. And then you hear, whoa, you're like, Cody Rhodes. So, or he'll come on, and Triple H will talk about brokering a deal or something with maybe even Heyman. Heyman comes out and goes, I'm here to make a huge announcement, but to also apologize. But let's get into the announcement first, and blah, blah, blah. And, next thing you know, the tribal chief is even more shook because the wise man. And now what is Solo going to do? He's loyal to the chief. And now, one of Uso's other brothers, or Umaga's son, shows up because he's over there at Reality with Booker T cutting his chops. He looks smooth too.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll be a WWE here shortly. So, but
I didn't think about the Cody thing. That's a good call.
Yeah, Cody Rhodes. It's funny you mentioned that. So Cody Rhodes and the Waller effect was the next part of it. And, he comes out, yes, we're going to sit here and you're going to say mean stuff to me. All of his chips are in. And I was trying to figure out the words that he was saying. Was it a play on something that he did or say or didn't say or whatever with AEW, with the chips and the stroke and all this other stuff. So I've listened and watched it several times. The only thing I picked up, and I thought it was really funny, was when Michael Cole said, well, he used to be an EVP. I'm
EVP.
like, holy...
I caught that too.
Holy cow, are we acknowledging something that isn't part of the WWE?
I caught that too. I'm like, oh my God, they do exist.
I was like, oh my God, it's not just the WWE universe and that's it. So kudos to the creative team. For a couple of weeks, WWE was even saying wrestler. So I thought that was pretty cool. It's the little things that make fans go, oh my God, we're getting to a world where we might see another kind of forbidden door where you're going to have WWE versus AEW They do it in basketball. They do it AFC versus NFC. They do it, in the Olympics. They, all countries, put their issues aside and compete in a sporting event. So let's do it. Book it.
And AEW is doing another one with Wrestle Dream.
Oh, that's going to be cool for
That's gonna be
Antonio.
interesting. Yeah.
That's going to be awesome. But yeah, it was so the Waller effect comes in, Jay gets announced, he comes out, he's got a new just really like almost like addicting theme song, and you hear it and you just start,
The Uso, I'm the one.
Man. And then at the end when he's like Jay is in your city and he puts his pinky up, and I'm like, yeah, all right. Well, I don't thank you for a pinkies up guy, but whatever works. And the crowd was into it at the pay-per-view, and they were totally into it.
Monday night.
Monday night, that was slapping. It was on. So the Waller effect goes. Cody Rhodes leaves. They exchange words. Something having to do with it's just me, Oos, or whatever, sort of signifying,
Right.
I'm here alone. I'm doing my own thing. I could see Jay, skipping the head of the line and defeating the Ring General for the Intercontinental title, and that would be the way.
See, I see him going after Rollins.
Uso? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That would be a cool story, because now families, titles on separate shows. Does Cody leave to go to Friday Night SmackDown and finish his story, or now does he have to squash another feuding Uso kind of? Yeah, that would be interesting. So all of that to say, Waller ends up getting super kicked by Jey Uso, and he takes the crowd on a ride for the next couple of minutes, which was really cool, but kind of like got the crowd super hyped. But now we have Raquel Rodriguez, who they have to do something with her intro music, because it's just kind of confusing. It's just confusing. We need to do something with that. Her gear looks great. Her move set is perfect for a big athletic woman. But yeah, they're the theme song. So we get Raquel Rodriguez versus Ripley. Whew, that gear, ode to China, and just next level match. I thought it was a really good match, and congratulations to Rhea Ripley. She defended her title successfully against Raquel, but I don't think Raquel is done. She's going to want a little bit of payback, so I think she'll get payback at Payback. So I think she'll end up getting a couple more shots at the title, but I think Rhea's going to hang on to that thing for
on Raw, they announced that she's getting a rematch next week on Raw, and Dirty Dom's banned from ringside, so JD McDonough will help or something. But yeah, I agree. I think it'll be one of those she'll keep getting interfered with till they do a steel cage or a strap match or something like that. I don't know if Raquel's gonna be the one to take it from her though. I
don't see why you would take the title off of her, especially when, congratulations to Finn Balor and Senior Money in the Bank for defeating the undisputed tag team champions to become the new champions. So you've got Dirty Dom as the NXT North American champion. Beautiful title. I love that belt. And then you have Rhea as the women's champion, and the tag team champions with Finn Balor and I just locked up Punishment Martinez, but Damian Priest. And I think now that Gunther, another way to do this, now that Gunther is going to end up winning or carrying on or becoming the most winningest Intercontinental champion, now you could have Damian Priest go, you know what? I didn't grow up wanting to be the champion of the title that Seth Rollins is holding. I grew up watching Carlos Colon and Pedro Morales when Pedro Morales was the Intercontinental champion, and he cashes in and wins the Intercontinental championship. Now he's the tag team and the Intercontinental, and that could elevate Priest to the next level. But
see, I think Gable ends up beating Gunther. Not obviously Monday, because Monday already happened, but I think he gets a rematch because they wanted Gunther to break the record. Now Gunther's broken the record, so what's their next pay-per-view? I want to say Backlash, but that's not true. It's whatever WWE's next pay per view is. That's where I see we get a rematch, and then Gunther loses to Gable, and now you've freed up Gunther to chase after Rollins as a heel. Because hopefully he'll be done with Nakamura by then. Which, we're getting to that match too. What a match! But yeah, I'd like to see Gunther make a run at the World Championship, and then you can have Priest cash in on Gunther down the road. Although you got to WrestleMania, so you don't have that much more time. So, or actually, no, you got all the way to Money in the Bank, right? They get it for a year, so he can keep holding on to it for a while. But I don't know.
Unless they cash in, unless he gets a WrestleMania cash in and takes the most dramatic cash in by Seth Rollins.
What if WrestleMania you see Cody win, and then Priest cashes in on Cody and beats Cody? Cody only holds it for like
oh my God.
That would be WWE of them.
Oh my God.
Cody holds it for like 10 minutes. Hey, your story's done, brother.
No, so he does exactly what his dad did, where he jumped around and held the title up. They get a photo, and then Priest's music hits, and he hits him.
That would be awesome.
God damn it! Oh, way to upset me, WWE. It hasn't even happened yet.
But you ain't lying. But know I'm not lying.
I was doing a virtual tour. 100%. Yeah. And now Cody has to go like on a different type of story, and Roman Reigns will be gone for 6 months or whatever, because he'll be gone from WrestleMania through the Olympics or something, or probably even longer. But I mean, they're on a hiatus right now, and he's just racking up days not defending the title.
I remember the rule used to be every 30 days or you got stripped, but
I know, what the hell, man. So, but it's the WWE, it's their title,
just like the draft matters,
and they're selling merch. So, what's that?
We swear it matters this time.
Their draft
we're not going to mess it up.
Yeah, it is official. You were exclusive. Yeah, their draft is just about as official as my fantasy football draft, where oh man. And I ended up with Dak Prescott. No disrespect to our Cowboy fans out there. I just am not a Cowboys fan, and
I'm not in any fantasy this year.
Man, so hard times. I think that might be the name of my team, but I ended up getting Garoppolo, so we'll see. He's probably going to end up losing his job because he'll break his foot again. So, speaking of breaking stuff, we've got Seth Rollins with his busted up back comes out, gear to the nines. And again, I don't understand why the champion is coming to the ring first. But we get Seth Rollins comes to the ring, and then Shinsuke Nakamura comes out. And this current edition of Shinsuke Nakamura, having not seen Shinsuke in New Japan before he came to the WWE or NXT, and it, like, at that point I was like, yeah, whatever he did, it doesn't really matter, because WWE is going to strip that down and put a WWE symbol on it, so it won't be the same. But you're like, well, wait a minute, Finn Balor is really close to the Prince character, and that's what got him to the dance. And now here we are after 4 or 5 years of Shinsuke toiling.
7 years.
7 years toiling as Intercontinental United States title contender, getting cheated out of opportunities, winning the Royal Rumble. And just now, here we are, Shinsuke Nakamura, who sold out the Tokyo Dome against AJ Styles, is main eventing a pay-per-view for WWE. And what a freaking match. And kudos to both of them. And, had Shinsuke won, I wouldn't have been upset, because I really like this edition of it. Seth Rollins winning, it does something for the story. It does something for the championship. It does something for him. Good piece of business. I don't think they're done, especially because after the pay-per-view ended, Shinsuke was a little pissed that he took the L and decided to cheap shot Seth Rollins and laid him out.
Yeah, and then we got the follow-up on Raw, too, where they went at it, and obviously they're going to do more. But, dude, that anime entrance, that, which is the obvious reason that Rollins came out first, even though they say it's champion's prerogative. But they obviously want to play that really badass anime intro. I was like, well, that's pretty dang cool. Like, that's old school, Nakamura stuff. And I'm like, man, this is I feel like they've given him a little bit of creative control, and he's owning it, and he's doing a really good job of it.
Yeah. Excellent job. So kudos to the WWE, kudos to the WWE universe, the crowd that was in there. 3.5 Beards, really enjoyed it. And, I haven't been disappointed in since, I don't know, WrestleMania, maybe Monday after WrestleMania, a little disappointed, but these pay-per-views are really stepping it up. And I put that all on the AEW faithful. And Tony Khan, the work that he's doing to build a fantastic roster. And they took huge steps, unfortunately, terminating CM Punk's contract. But their efforts are absolutely making a much better product for us, the wrestling fans. So shout out to the shout out.
Yeah, I mean, like we said when one of our shows, probably a bunch of our shows, the competition just breeds improvement, and it's like as a wrestling fan, you shouldn't be mad or hate on either one of the companies for doing well. If you listen to this, I'm not the biggest WWE fan, but I'm becoming more and more one because stuff like Gable and Gunther happen, and Seth and Nakamura and the tag match. Like there are things happening that 2 years ago in WWE. Well, that was COVID. That's not fair. 4 years ago in WWE,
Yeah.
like I just didn't care about it. Like there was a point when WWE was all that was there, and I would catch up on it and watch highlights, but I never sat down and watched wrestling. Then AEW came out, and I still didn't watch much WWE. But now that we're doing the show, I'm watching it again. And I'm like, all right, well, yeah, but I actually look forward to watching it now. Like not all of it. There's still some. I will admit that I'm just like click, click, click. But I will say overall, it's slowly but surely improving, in my opinion, for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think every episode, you want to see, every episode improvement. That might not be fair because you can't hit home runs every week, and
right.
I really, like you said, it's slowly but surely getting more enjoyable, and the social media aspect of it is much more entertaining than it was, and the character work that everybody is doing, the focus on different stories is getting a little bit better. They're not quite booking women to the extent that we want, but I think
nobody is but Impact.
Yeah. And I think, not to be uber critical and poo poo on anything, but if, there's segments that we could cut short, even if we get a 3, 4, 5 minute match, it's still better than nothing. And, Ring of Honor, they're having women main event pay-per-view, African American women pay-per-view main eventing, which is huge for Ring of Honor. Oh well, WWE they already had a main event for Africa. Okay, yeah, fine, but like, what have they done since then? They've regressed since then. So don't come. I'm not being negative about it, or
no,
come at my neck, bro. But I think little by little they have they have the athletes, they have the superstars, they have the wrestlers on the card. You're paying them. They want to be seen. That's why they became wrestlers, so they could bump and feed. And let's get them up. Let's get them on the roster because they're coming, whether we want them to or not. And I absolutely want to see, especially when we got the first match on that pay-per-view being a cage match with a Hall of Famer and Becky Lynch. So, man, just good times and, great card. And then we scoot over to Monday Night Raw. And I don't know what your expectations were, but I was like, okay, Hunter watched the pay-per-view, and he was taking notes. And he's like, okay, they're going to open with this kind of match. I'm going to open with the exact same kind of match. I'm going to have a funky Oh, wait, there aren't any really funky finishes. Shit, okay, let me scratch that off the list. I'm going to have a bunch of gimmick. Wait a minute. There's no gimmick match. Wait a minute. And I feel like that's what they did with Monday Night Raw. And you had some silliness, and you had Jay come back out. But it's what you expect for Monday Night Raw. And like what you were saying earlier about if the blood that Owens gave us, I think during the Swanton, actually he might have already been busted open by then. But either way, if the blood is sort of what we're going to see on the third hour, I think, we have a lot of really good athletes. The writing is getting much, much better. It's not as, painful to sit and
Right.
watch. And something that I don't know if it will go down as like one of the top 5 in Chad Gable, and they main evented Monday Night Raw. And you're like, oh man, they should have been on the pay-per-view. They should have this, they should have that. Okay, fine. But the story is that Gunther is on a quest to become the winningest Intercontinental Champion. So they delayed till Monday night, so you get a pay-per-view quality match as a pay-per-view for free on TV, and they did not disappoint. And Monday Night Raw was full of a little bit of everything because it's 3 hours, it's sports entertainment, it's a variety show. We got to see Jey Uso show up. We heard his intro again, and he's like, give me a minute. Give me a minute. He stumbled a little bit. He didn't have, he doesn't have his brother to feed off of that, which is what he's been doing for, 12 years or whatever. And you figure the last 3, he's been surrounded by the wise man, by Roman, by his brother, who's ever the foil of, the situation. And then most recently Solo. And he's out there on his own now. So I think they're building him up to be main event Jey Uso, and we'll see if he can take the ball and run with it until WrestleMania, when we get Jimmy Uso, the WWE United States Champion, versus Jey Uso, the Intercontinental Champion. Won't be title for title or whatever, but it'll just be like bragging rights or whatever in the city of brotherly love. The main event for night 1, Jimmy versus Jey.
I'd be down
Jey
with that.
comes out the victor.
Yeah, because I was wondering how we're going to get to Jimmy versus Jey, but that wouldn't be a bad way. Because I was wondering if Jimmy was going to start showing up and jumping Jey on Raw and continuing the Bloodline storyline. But yeah, that wouldn't be a bad way to do it. I also think we're going to end up with Kevin Owens and Sammy at WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah.
I do. I think we're going to go that route. And so you say, man, but if the booking trends and the matches stay the quality they've been doing, and they let those guys go out and do El Generico versus Kevin Steen.
Wow.
I'm there for it, man. Literally, I'm there for it. Like, we'll be sitting there for it. But, if they unleash them a little bit and say, all right, you guys got 20 minutes, go. It'll be great. So I would love to see WrestleMania evolve into more wrestling. Like, their PLEs have been great. WrestleMania last year was good, even though we all know Cody should have won. But there's still those huge gaps between matches where you're like, man, you could have filled this with 5 more minutes here or another match. I'm hoping that eventually, I hope they watched all in and went, they did 80,000 people, 81,000 people, and there wasn't a whole lot of fluff in between. It was match, 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 match. Match got better, match got better, match got better. And I'm like you said, if Triple H is sitting there going, taking notes, maybe we should do that. Man, I hope we go into WrestleMania and we get just some banger of matches, because I'm selfish and I'm going to be there and want to see some banger matches. But at the same time, we'll see.
Yeah. Hey, Papa H, don't disappoint, son.
Hey, it's the 40th too, man. I keep saying, we're going to WrestleMania, but we're going to the 40th WrestleMania.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's freaking awesome.
That's awesome. And when we get off here, I'll talk to you about hotels, by the way. They got to text me back. So
okay.
We'll do it off air, though. We don't need everybody knowing our business.
So we get to Monday Night Raw. We get a Jey Uso spot. We see Seth arrive, and the general manager is like, hey, you're not supposed to be here, medical, blah, blah, blah. Just shy of saying, hey, we should have taken you to a medical facility. Still pretty funny. We got, he didn't do that cackle laugh, so I don't know if he's slowly getting away from that. But, so Seth is like, I'm fine. I'm the champ. I'm good. And then, the Ricochet and just, and I want so bad for Ricochet to be the guy because of the work that he did in our favorite wrestling organization, mentioned once every episode. Bing! Lucha Underground, when he was Prince Puma.
Yeah.
He didn't talk. He didn't do all that stuff. He still ended up, being a champion. Obviously, Lucha Underground was marketed differently. WWE is a family-friendly programming. and he would have to be able to talk. He would have to be able to go and do interviews. And, I really want him to be a champion. And, just like we were always saying, when we're in the military, not everybody becomes a sergeant major. Not every colonel becomes a general. And Lord knows not everybody gets promoted to colonel. So it's like, okay, maybe being, the United States champion or holding a tag team championship, that might be as good as it gets. And not that there's anything wrong with that. So Ricochet, fantastic athlete.
Well, and his match with Shinsuke on that on Raw was superb.
Fantastic. Yeah. Awesome.
I mean, Raw in general, I really enjoyed both shows. And, we talked a little bit about the Gunther stuff, but that match with Gunther and what a great match. Like, this was a really good episode. The Shayna Baszler, Zoe Starks, this was just a really good Raw episode with good action in the ring and not too much goofy, silly stuff. I really enjoyed this Raw.
Yeah, it went by really quick. And like you said, I'm laughing because of the work that The Miz is doing. Hit the spot that he did with John Cena. And I don't know if everybody knows this or not, but if wrestling fans are here with me today, it's the sports entertainment fans that are like, where's John? I can't see him. So The Miz does Miz TV, under that concept of it. Yep. Super funny. He does a skull crushing finale. And that was so funny. The Viking Raiders took one more little ding at Drew McIntyre. He's about to turn heel.
I feel that too. Yeah.
That is exactly what that character needs.
I feel like we're getting the Randy Orton, Matt Riddle storyline, but with Randy out, they've just plugged in Drew, because I have a feeling this was probably, maybe not this long, but eventually you were going to see this. So I think they're just accelerating it with the Drew McIntyre turn. It's not going to be as impactful because everybody liked RK Bro, but I feel like that's kind of where we're at right now.
Yeah. So we'll get that. That'll keep everybody busy for a little while. JD McDonough, for some rhyme or reason, gets the victory, because that could have been the story to continue on the strife. Look, he didn't beat Sami Zayn. You guys beat Sami Zayn. You're over here saying you want JD McDonough in the Judgment Day, but he can't beat Sami Zayn. You guys beat him, blah, blah, blah. But he gets the victory, and really very confusing, very, very confusing. So now you're going to bury who was the Universal Tag Team Champion, one of the most beloved characters on the WWE.
I think it works a little bit, because I think you could play into, hey, look, JD McDonough, easy for me to say. JD McDonough is good enough to be in Judgment. Look what he did. And then you can also start playing into, nobody came out to help Sammy. Where was Jay? They had this big hug and talk in the beginning, but he didn't come out to help. Because then you get later on the Dominic Mysterio thing. Hey, man, why don't you join the Judgment Day? And I'm just going, all right, that's an interesting little wrinkle. So I could see the win for JD. Did he win clean? I don't remember. Didn't Finn get involved? I honestly don't remember now.
No, he won with the most dangerous move in all of sports entertainment. Yeah,
that's right. Because I knew there was something goofy with the end, but I don't know. I feel like they could use that in a storyline too. That'll work.
Yeah.
It'll work.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so we got that. Chelsea Green, love the character work, and I love the announcing. Chelsea, just great stuff. Yeah. Great stuff, great match. Huge fan of the character work that Chelsea Green is doing, and her on a constant quest for a tag team partner, and I just think that's really funny. But obviously, we get through the whole show. Great match with Shinsuke and Ricochet, like we said. But that main event with Chad Gable and Gunther, the story that they told, never mind good versus bad, big versus little. It was two athletes getting after it, and
getting after it stiff too.
Yeah, and I'm glad that Chad made it to a medical facility after that lariat clothesline, because good golly, Miss Molly, that's not right. You don't do that to another human being,
man.
Sir.
That or the chop where he laid him on the top turnbuckle and went to chop him, but missed and caught him right in the face. I was like, I saw that, because they didn't show it on replay, but I'm like, wait, did he? Oh yeah, he hit him right in the face. He missed his chest completely. which is I think when he busted his teeth up because he was bleeding at the end of the match. So, but yeah, it got him right in the face. I was like, oof, that hurt. That made him a little angry, I'm sure.
Yeah. So for me, that show, what's that?
So that match was just fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
that
on
was-
my top matches of the year.
Really?
Oh, it was so good. Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably I'm gonna have to like build out a sheet so when we do something in like December timeframe, like matches of the year, but it's up there. It's probably in my top 10 for this year, if not in the top 5. I really enjoyed that match.
So is that just WWE matches or all matches?
Overall matches.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So would you say that this match with Gunther was better than the match he had with Cody?
Chad and Cody
Yeah, Chad, sorry.
versus Chad and Gunther. Oof. Yeah, actually I think I do. I think I did like this one more than the Cody one.
Wow.
I think I did.
That was a big coming out party for Chad.
Yeah.
Getting away
I mean, that was
from-
great.
Yeah.
I mean, that's in my top 10 for the year too, but I think this one might have edged it out a little bit.
Wow.
I don't know whether
That
it's
says
just
a
the
lot.
brutality of Gunther or the story they told, but yeah, I do. I think I like this one a little more.
That says a lot having a wrestler not named Kenny Omega take up 2 spots on a roster. So wrestling fans, sports entertainment fans, take note. That is how damn good Chad freaking Gable is. He's not Shorty G. He's not the what were they before the Alpha Academy? He was something else, and he had like a mullet. And, and now here he is, Master Gable, just very, that whole thank you.
Well, and you said something interesting. You said he's not named Omega, but if you watch the match with Gunther, he wrestled a very Omega style match. Like that bump he took with that chokehold into the backs. I'm like, oh my God, he landed on his head. But he did it the exact same way Omega does, where he kind of gets his hand up there quick enough. It just doesn't seem like you're like, he just broke his neck. I'm like, oh no, he's okay. So he wrestles like that kind of hard style that almost like you'd think he'd spent time in Japan. And I don't think Chad ever went over to Japan. I think he's WWE born and raised. So
I think you're right. Yeah, he was collegiate, wrestled the Olympics, and then I think he did come up through the WWE system. So kudos to him.
Yeah,
and
that's a good point.
This whole
not
show
named Kenny's got 2 spots. On my top 10.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. And
the rest are all Kenny. So
yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Kenny
Ryan
and
Danielson's on there too, and CM Punk.
Yeah,
but
man,
FTR and the Briscoes. That was last year, though. I think the FTR and Briscoes. Or was that this year? The dog collar match. That was this year, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, February.
Ospreay and Jericho. That's on there.
Really?
Yeah, I really enjoyed that match. MJF and Adam Cole from All In. That was on there. So that one for a different reason. See, we're gonna have to do a show now because that one for a completely different reason. Yes, their in-ring work was genius, but the whole match and the story and everything, fantastic.
Oh
for me.
Man, nice teaser. Hey, we already did a show of if you were a wrestling fan and you were trying to convert someone to be a wrestling fan, what match would you win or would you show them? However you get there, these are the 2 matches I want to show you. Now we got to do a show, top 10 favorite matches of the year. We're already halfway through, 3/4 of the way through.
We could do a half year one. We could do 5 now, and then at the end of the year, do a full 10.
There you go.
I'd be cool with that, putting it together.
Yeah. That and our fantasy wrestling draft or our fantasy wrestling card. You choose the location, the announcers, any wrestler from any organization, and you could have a gimmick match or whatever.
Old man Jared there needs to get his beauty rest, so we're gonna probably wrap it right here.
Lord knows I need it.
So please remember to like and subscribe and hit the little bell notification wherever it is on the screen to get notifications. We go live every Tuesday and Thursday night on our channels. Knock on wood that we can continue that trend, and then we will go live on Saturdays on our Rumble channel is kind of what it's rolling out to be. And then on Fantasy Sports Core's YouTube channel. Again, thanks. Shout out for those guys. If you like anything fantasy football, fantasy sports in general, from hockey to baseball, go check that channel out. Go check them out. Good people over there. A lot of good insight. They get some pretty cool guests on. And we appreciate doing our wrestling show on their channel. We appreciate that spot on Saturday nights from 7 to 8. And again, ours is on YouTube and Rumble, usually 6 to 7. I may have not realized what time it was, so we got a little late start today, so I apologize. Ellie Jared texts me. I'm like, yeah, we're good for tonight. Oh, crap. I just saw what time it was. So my apologies. That was totally on me. But appreciate everybody. Follow us on Twitter, Threads, wherever you get your social media from. I'm sorry, it's not Twitter anymore. X, Threads, wherever you get your social media from. No Shave Man Cave. You want to reach out to us and talk to us or just send us some fan mail. It's noshavemancave@gmail.com. And it's that time of the show that all the ladies love. Time for the Marine to take us out.
Hiya! Bump and feed, bump and feed. Thank you so much for joining us. And like Jay Tilley was saying, like, share, subscribe, the No Shave Man Cave. Thank you so much for joining us. To our brothers and sisters at arms, thank you for what you do. Hurry up, get your ass home. And until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you on the floor.
You've been listening to the No Shave Man Cave.
If it's pro wrestling, we're talking about it. Unless we see something shiny and wander off into the woods. If you hang around long enough, we'll eventually come back. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Fire off your comments and be sure to leave us a 5-star rating, and we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, hit us up on Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok at No Shave Men Cave. Y'all be cool, and we'll see you next time on the No Shave Men Cave.